Buongiorno, hello, good morning, good evening, good night. Who knows what it is? Anybody know? I hope you're all well. What's all this then? I know, geese. How do you do, Electrodoc? Good evening. And Falconelli, hope you are well. Living the dream, eating a custard cream. Well, it's all been going on, hasn't it? Mick. Yes, I was up watching the TV till about 3 in the morning last night. I had the internet going as well. I can't believe it. I don't know if you know Charlie Kirk, but I've been following or subscribed for ages, but learned a lot from him. Watch a lot of him. Enjoy watching him. I thought he was very, very, very intelligent human being. Yeah. I don't know how you reacted. Did you? I think a lot of it's gone now on X, but they actually had the video of the shooting and everything. It was absolutely awful. I hope for your sake you didn't see it. But we'll go down and see where we're at the moment with it. See what you think. I've even got videos here. People actually celebrated. Yes, celebrated Charlie Kirk being shot. Yep. Apparently, when you're a father, husband, you being shot, people celebrate. Absolutely disgraceful. Oh, did you watch on Megan Kelly? Yeah, I watched some of that today as well. Like, yeah, she's very tearful, but she knew him, didn't she? I think I've got some video like talking PBD Patrick David. But that's one thing I do know. If I can press the right button, this is the man they're looking for. I say man very loosely. But apparently that was released as the actual pictures. But what's winding me up is it's come out that the bloke's pointing at and going, "Oh, there's someone up there." Like literally saying, like, "Oh, look," and he's filming it and he's pointing, "Go look, someone on the roof," but he didn't tell no one, didn't say nothing, didn't do nothing, and that really wound me up. So she wrote Death Date about 2 a.m. Blimey. Yeah, I got it earlier than that. I think it's maybe 1-ish or something. I don't know. I'm not too sure. But yeah, I was watching it from because normally we watch Criminal Minds on a Wednesday, 9 till 10, 10 till 11. But the news on, looking on the internet, and I watched a bit of Apologetic Roadshow. David Wood was on the case, had AP up there for 10 minutes or so, but he was with IP. Watched all that. I just couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. A day and age where like you literally get shot for having an opinion of you and for knowledge. Because I just watched Matthew Stadler on GB News on Dubes and Co. He talks absolute rubbish. I'm going to do a video of him. Like I can't believe the crap that comes out of his mouth. I've seen a couple of close-up vids on about 4 seconds showed the full extent of the injury. The lefties are mad. Yeah. Yeah. You do see like blood come out his neck and everything. That made me feel ill. It did. And I'm an empath. I feel everything. Oh, it's horrible. Absolutely horrible. But obviously they got someone that they're wanting to get hold of. So let's see what thing I've got here, because I was quite surprised. I didn't even know that I thought they might have worn some sort of vest at events like that. Yeah, exactly that, Bolganelli. I thought they might have worn some sort of vest, even if it was like a stab-proof vest or some type of thing. Do you know what I mean? For protection. I didn't realise because people were saying, "Oh, was he wearing a vest and that? The bullet bounced off his vest and all that." And I thought, well, no, because they don't. And you can see him when he's throwing hats out. He's just wearing a t-shirt, literally just a t-shirt. So Yeah, it's a shame. But yeah, it was after midnight, definitely. I'm not too sure when, mate. I think I got it a bit early now. I was watching. What was I watching? I think it was actually GB News when it came out. But yeah, I don't know the exact time. I'm same as you. Yeah, after midnight. Stop looking. Yeah, me too, mate. But um, whenever it was, I was just like. But the funny thing is, right, when it happened, I said to the missus, like, I saw the video on X. I wish I hadn't. Traumatizing. Straight away, I turned around to my missus. I said, he's not going to survive that. I said, and then my next verse was, this would be something to do with like transgender type weird mass shooting rubbish. You watch, because he then got shot. And apparently it's come out that it could be some anti-fascist transgender Antifa type absolute screw loose type person. What? Because I don't know. Did you hear they found a rifle in the woods and the ammunition actually had an engraving on it, which was transgender and anti-fascist type writing. So it wasn't when he was shut out, was it? I think that's a different stream. No, no, no. I'm saying you could see he wasn't wearing a like a vest or any type of thing under a t-shirt when he was throwing the hats out. You could see like it was just a t-shirt. So yeah, that was before probably minutes maybe before he actually got shot. But he's throwing the hats out, wasn't he? The MAGA hats. He's throwing them all out. You can see he's literally just wearing t-shirts, a t-shirt. Sorry, and I was like, because even that, being that I was ex-security and that, I was a bit like, I thought you might even wear a stab-proof vest, you know, for someone lunging at him or anything like that type purpose. It's obviously, but that wouldn't have helped him. But they're also claiming that they believe that the man was going for a headshot, but where it was like around the 180 to 200 yards, obviously the bullet dropped a bit, and that's why it got him in the neck. So, I mean, I don't know too much about all that malarkey, just trying to sound intelligent, but that's what I've seen and heard Tim Pool, etc. saying it. I was just like, shocking. A raven? What's a raven? A bird? That's a poem, isn't it? Um, but yeah, I mean, they got this person of interest. It just come up on GB News that there's £100,000 reward for any information leading to his arrest. But I just can't get my head around the fact that you turn out, he's been doing it for 10 years. 10 years. Crazy. And don't forget, tomorrow, Friday, anyone who wants to come up on stream can do. We were talking about Labour and Keir Starmer and as well. We'll be here, there, and everywhere. But anything you want to say? Oh, Raven on the book. I'm not too sure. The last I read, if I'm, is actually that it was engraved with transgender, anti-fascist type messages. So, yeah, I think they said a bolt rifle. I don't know about rifles, but they said a bolt lock bolt. I thought, I don't know. Probably the thing goes, jab here. Fires magic bullets. Does that gun? Magic bullets, yeah. But is it bolt lock or bolt load or some term that I had some, and I was like, oh, I mean, obviously, you're in the UK. What do we know about guns? Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'll tell you, it took me for six. But anyway, yeah, the photo is out and about. So obviously they got someone in mind. I have heard they got CCTV footage of them coming in. That was about 11:52 coming in, 11:52 a.m. doing whatever, and he was shot about 12:20 p.m. So, but here it says, few details have been shared about the assassination of the right-wing activist and youth organizer 31, who was fatally shot in the neck during an outdoor speaking event at Utah Valley University in Orem on Wednesday. Images released by the FBI showed a man wearing sunglasses, baseball cap, and a black t-shirt. Hopefully, like, people that the people who even go to the university, they must know who he is, surely. Yeah, my son, he plays COD. Yeah, my son was like, oh, that and everything. I'm like, how do you know? That's headphones. I had my headphones on my lap ready for when I show the video of Douglas Murray talking. But yeah, my son's the same with playing with COD. Yeah, he knows everything. He's like, oh, this is blah blah blah. I'm like, what? I wouldn't know that. I know Desert Eagle and Smith and Wesson and all that, Colt, but I don't know much. Bolt action rifle. Here it is. See, there's me trying to say it earlier, and it's right here. Authorities say they recovered a high-powered bolt action rifle in a nearby wooded area. Ammunition inside the rifle was engraved with messages of transgender and anti-fascist ideology. That's what I heard. Citing a law enforcement building and source familiar with the investigation. So it's obviously from a decent source. It could be like taken more seriously. It's not just hearsay or people making it up as they go along like they do. On Thursday, a senior law enforcement told the New York Times that preliminary reports on the shooter's rifle might turn out to have been or misinterpreted. Footage of the suspect, who appears to be of college age, blended in with students on campus, is being analysed. Utah Department of Public Safety Commissioner Bo Mason has said investigators are also looking into a palm imprint, forearm imprint, and a footwear impression of the subject. The suspect was seen on video on campus at 11:52 a.m., like I just said. From there, he moved through stairwells and onto the roof. Moving across the roof and jumping off the building to the campus. So he was seen jump. Why didn't anyone chase him down? Am I misunderstanding this? If you see that, surely you'd chase him down. Yeah, they literally, they all have the same effect, don't they? You're not wrong. My PC is old as me. I've only played up to COD 2. PC turns into a slideshow. It went even higher. Yeah. Yeah, my son got himself a nice computer and then he got rid of it and he's got like a iPad and he does that all weird hands and that. But I've got a brand new laptop. I got this laptop for Christmas from the wife. And then obviously I bought her a car because I'm nice like that, geese. But yeah, time will tell. Time will tell. I always find before I said something about whatever it might be, and then I actually know what I was saying. So even when you get from a reputable source, some things can change. Investigators said they have no idea how far the suspect may have gone overnight. The single bullet struck Kirk's neck around 12:20 p.m. as he responded to an audience question about mass shooting involving transgender people, which is a bit strange, don't you think? Just happened to be talking about transgender, mass shooting, and then apparently someone with like weird transgender anti-fascist ideology shoots him. An anti-fascist, by definition, is supposed to be non-violent. Fascist is supposed to be more violent, which is strange. The crowd, about 3,000 attendees, recoiled in horror, ducking for cover in the college's outdoor amphitheatre as Kirk was rushed to hospital, where he later died. Yeah, did you see the footage? The bloke, he's got like blondie hair, and like they're scanning. Like obviously the shooters fired his shot. Everyone hits the deck, and there's a bloke like in a dark blue t-shirt. He turns to look to where the shooter was from, stands up, and he's going like that, cheering. I mean, how sick. I don't, I'm not really sort of known for sort of bearing anyone like bad luck or ill whatever, but people like that, I do. I can pray that something happens. But all buying computers. Yeah, do we need to call the guy her? Yeah, no, him. I've done one about the transgender called Lindsay, but I found out his name was Alex Horwood, so I kept calling him Alex Horwood because that's his name, because he's a man. But yeah, it's strange how people will actually cheer for that. I've got some videos. Well, a video where someone had a collection of people. I think it's on Sky News Australia. But what do we know about the suspect manhunt? This was actually not even posted that too far long ago. Normally it says up here how long. This is only 42 minutes ago, so this is quite up to date, which I thought was handy for my stream, because obviously I want to give you what's up to date. And then I don't know if you know, like I watched GodLogic, and he's streaming, which I'm going to show you. And while he's streaming, someone actually tells him, a Muslim turns around to him and says, "You're next." Who says things like that? A Muslim. Say no more. The suspected gunman was still at large and unidentified Thursday morning as FBI Special Agent in charge, Robert Ball, said the shooting was a targeted event. It was. I mean, blimey, can you imagine the planning? I assume they would have planned for that, to get up on the roof and all sorts. The FBI shared photos of a person of interest, which I showed you at the beginning, intact. The images show a person wearing a hat, sunglasses, and black long sleeve shirt that appeared to have a photo of an American flag on it. We're asking for the public's help identifying the person of interest in connection with the fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University. This is literally moments before, like, he answers a question, puts the mic down, because I don't know if you know if you watch a lot, but sometimes he puts the mic down, then he picks the mic up. I thought it was more a thing out of respect, so people know he's not going to sort of shout them down or talk over them or anything. I think that's the picture I used on my phone now, actually. Earlier Thursday, authorities said that they recovered the weapon used in the attack, a high-powered bolt-action rifle that the gunman dropped in a wooded area, Utah Department of Public Safety Commissioner Bo Mason said. Ammunition inside the rifle was engraved with messages of transgender and anti-fascist ideology. I said a minute ago. When asked about the alleged engravings, a spokesman for FBI told The Independent, as this is an ongoing investigation, the FBI declines to comment. Maybe because, they don't want to give away too much. The same bulletin, which has not been verified, allegedly said that the .06 caliber bolt action rifle was discovered wrapped in a towel not far from the campus. The suspected shooter, who appeared to be a college age, arrived on campus just before noon on Wednesday and blended in with the students. Authorities were able to track the suspect's movements after he jumped from a building and fled the campus into a neighbourhood. Investigators have since gone into the nearby neighbourhoods to collect any doorbell camera footage of the suspect. See, that's probably a thing that helps in this day and age, don't you think? That actual doorbells have cameras, so that's got to help. That's got to help. In a good way. I'm, up for everyone, blooming cameras left, right, and centre. This spying on us, but I mean, at times like this, any crime. Do you know what I mean? We did have video of this individual. Authorities have declined to specify what the video shows and said they don't know how far he may have gotten overnight. Surely he'd still have the gun for a certain point before he got to the woods, so that they will be able to confirm it's him, because he will be carrying a rifle and it'll be wrapped in a towel, I assume. So yeah, it's not just going to be a normal person running past, is it? He's going to be carrying something, and that'll be the rifle. I'm so glad Utah's got the death penalty as well. Not a fan, but there's some crimes. When it's crimes against innocent people, like, well, all crimes are against innocent people, but how do I word it? When they're like just doing what they do in a daily day, as an adult, or if it's a child, or it's an innocent young lady minding her own business on her way to work or on the way home, those sort of crimes just like they should just be the death penalty full stop. No ifs, no buts. Like if you're found guilty, that's it. None of this 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, 200 years. No, death penalty. See you later. There's some people that shouldn't be on the planet. We do have good video of the individual. Read that bit out. Declined to specify. Yes, I did. We're not sure how far he has gone yet. Well, I'm not being. Wouldn't be surprised if he'd gone quite a way. Blimey, from what he's done. Unless he's got a hiding place. Meanwhile, unverified videos posted on social media appear to show a person on the roof of the building. The gunman fired at. Yeah, this bit. This is the video with where the actual bloke points, but he didn't tell no one. My Ring doorbell costs 20, 30 quid a year. A year? For it to be slightly better than useless. Don't buy a Ring doorbell camera is the moral of this comment. Oh, is that actually, you got to pay every year? I thought you just buy it. I thought you just buy it, put it up and that's it. And then obviously change the batteries. But you actually pay £20 to £30 a year. Blimey heck. To be fair, I'm more up to get a doorbell that costs maybe $3.99. My neighbour loves hers. Oh, she's got a Ring doorbell. I mean, I think for people who live alone and women and that, it's good to see before you open the door, I suppose. Plus, it's recording it as well, so it's always evidence. But blimey, £20, £30 a year. Well, that'd be going straight in the bin. I don't pay yearly. I just buy something, that's it. I don't do anything monthly. Other than my StreamYard for this, but then that's literally the money I make on YouTube pays for that every month, and that's it. That's all I can afford for my intake. But I'll be honest, the last 2 months has only paid half of it because it's £30 a month, and last month and the month before was about 15 quid in a month. I know, 50p a day, mate. Millionaire me. Whee! Must be all the views I get, said no one. I keep getting shadow banned. I do videos because they're like blooming about England and Islam and whatnot. I seem to get shadow banned a lot, and TikTok as well. I use words like asylum seeker, illegal immigrants, and that's it. They're like, no. You get a video, it gets seen by like 800 people. The next video, 6. Why is that? Because you used asylum seeker in the words. And it all comes down to choice of name. But I always seem to forget. But you know, it's about asylum seekers or illegal immigrants, so I've got to say that. If it's about Islam, I've got to say that. And they're like, oh no, shadow ban. Sorry about that. You only get seen by 2 people. So get the bell notification on. Official asked the public to share any more videos or images that may help identify the person. Authorities have not commented on a potential motive in the killing. There is one of the 2 people detained was an older man, seen in photos that circulated online shortly after the killing. Officials said he had been charged with obstruction by university police. The other man had been initially described by the governor as a person of interest, but was let go. So the campus will remain closed until Monday, and all classes have been cancelled. That's basically what we got thus far. There's a picture of him again, so you know who he is. You never know, someone might know. But apparently this man fired a single shot from the rooftop. And he was caught on video entering the campus. Like it said, moving through the stairwells. And obviously when he legged it after the shooting. At least they've actually recovered the high-powered rifle. Forensic evidence, including those footprints, palm print, what else was it, forearm print, and whatever. And now we've got this man that you can see there being described as college-aged, wearing dark clothing and blended in with the crowd. Absolutely crazy. But I need to show this. This is Douglas Murray. I need to get my headset. At least it's not me talking all the time. Douglas Murray, he does his talk. And I'll get to mute my mic so he can actually listen. But I will say my bits here and now, I expect. You know me, always got to talk.
Of groundbreaking works, international.
Any adverts, I will skip them, don't worry.
Bestsellers, his latest on democracies and death cults. Douglas Murray, let's start with the murder of Charlie Kirk, one of the brightest and bravest voices of his generation, a genuinely decent man, a father of two, shot dead at the age of 31,
Disgusting.
at the type of event that had really become synonymous with his name. He understood the importance of robust debate, of maintaining dialogue with your ideological opponents.
When people stop talking, really bad stuff starts. When marriages stop talking, divorce happens. When civilization stops talking, civil war ensues. When you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to want to commit violence against that group. What we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have a reasonable disagreement where violence is not an option.
Douglas, this is a heartbreaking, unimaginable loss.
Yeah, we're speaking just a few hours after the murder of Charlie Kirk. And I suppose, like everyone, my thoughts are with Charlie, but also his wife, his young wife, and his two young children that he leaves behind. It's an extraordinary, appalling act of violence. And I wish I could say that it's completely surprising, but it isn't, because, of course, we've had assassination attempts on President Trump, who Charlie Kirk has been a very vocal supporter and ally of for many years now. And there have been many threats over the years against Charlie himself. What we just heard him saying in that video is something that Charlie said often, and it's completely true. He spent a lot of his energies since he first came onto the scene at the young age of about 18 or so, and founded Turning Point. Since then, he had always made an effort to stress this point that, yes, you need to be able to talk. You need to have differences of opinion out in the public square, and that it is the best way to avoid a descent into political violence. And although he made that point so often, so many of his critics, most of whom I suspect really never listened to anything that Charlie said, demonized him, misrepresented him, and did that classic thing that unfortunately so much of the left does, which is to regard their political opponents not just as wrong, but as evil. And this is something that many of us have pointed out over the years. Most conservatives tend to think that the left is wrong, but not that it is certainly not in its entirety evil. That favor is not returned the other way around. And so we have people routinely claiming that mainstream conservative voices like Charlie Kirk's are somehow extreme, and that they somehow themselves are causing harm. Think of all the people in recent years who Charlie has talked about, who you and I, Rita, have talked about, who have said that words are violence, and that countering ideas or questioning ideas is literally killing people, and much more. Well, here we see once again the reality of it. Words are not violence. Shooting somebody in the throat is violence. And I really hope that a moment like this, as well as thinking of Charlie and his family, people think if they're on the side that has been demonizing their opponents to such an extent and dehumanizing them. I hope they think themselves about the fruits of their own words.
And Charlie was rare. He had the ability to persuade so many from across the political divide. That's rare these days. It made him enormously influential, particularly amongst young men. And Douglas, it was such a wholesome message at its heart. It was about prioritising family and religion and truth.
Yes.
And you spoke about the hate he received. It was so unhinged, so ugly, a lot of it from media, and it continued even after he was shot. Let me play you a little of the discussion on MSNBC earlier today.
He's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions.
I'm not going to say what I want to say. What's your response, Douglas, to what you just heard? That was Matthew Dowd on MSNBC earlier.
Well, I mean, the obvious thing is to make a rhetorical point about what Dowd said there, which is, what if somebody had hateful thoughts about him? What if his hateful words that he said just there led to somebody shooting him or a loved one of his or a friend of his in the throat? Would he exercise the same attempt at logical consistency then? I would think not, probably. But yes, that is an absolutely classic example of smearing the only just dead. And what Matthew Dowd said there is completely shameful. And if MSNBC had any shame, they would have said that immediately to him.
And as an update of that, Mr. Dowd, he has by MSNBC been sacked
and taken him off the air. What Charlie Kirk argued for throughout his public life, which was effectively throughout his adult life, were very straightforward things that were not controversial until very, very recently. For instance, what this Dowd thinks is controversial, if he bothered ever to listen to anything that Charlie Kirk said, and I doubt he did before deciding to smear him before his corpse is cold. What Charlie Kirk said were things, there are two sexes. There are men and there are women. He said America is a tremendous country and he was enormously proud of it and an extraordinary patriot. That wasn't, neither of these things were controversial until very, very recently. Charlie Kirk argued for biblical values, for Judeo-Christian values. It wasn't controversial until extremely recently. None of what Charlie Kirk argued for was in any way hateful. I wish, as I say, that people like Dowd, MSNBC, and many others realize that the hate has been so disproportionately coming from them. It's them who say that saying that America is a good country is somehow hateful. It's them that says that saying that there are two biological sexes is somehow hateful. No, it isn't. None of that was ever hateful. It was a statement of fact or of opinion, and that used to be allowed in America, and that used to be respected in America. And it's a terrible, terrible demonstration of where America and the West has come to, that the statement of obvious truths and the statement of opinions that millions and millions of people hold fast to should be smeared in this way.
Dowd said plenty more, and then there's been other outlets who described themselves today.
Yeah, you're right, mate. Bloomin' little girl and a little boy, done. Do you know what I mean? Just robbed. Yeah, I said that earlier to the wife, I said, I bet it's going to get worse. I don't know what it is about using things like, because Charlie Kirk done his Turning Point USA, and there's a Turning Point UK, and that David Lammy, our so-called Deputy Prime Minister, was saying it was sinister. I mean, what an idiot. What an absolute prat. That Lammy has got to be an absolute fruitcake. I have no idea what planet he's on. I'll put that up there for advertising purposes, so anyone popping in will see it and think, ooh, 7 p.m. Friday. But yeah, this is I think this is a bit where they show the lefties losing it.
Just to clarify, he made those comments after Charlie was shot, but before his death was announced. But shameful at any time to be saying that, to be blaming the victim, speaking the truth. Douglas, the next generation of young men in particular are becoming increasingly conservative, increasingly right-wing, rejecting so much of the leftist ideology that's been throats by the culture, by schools and universities. And like yourself, Charlie Kirk has played a significant role in that, in opening the eyes of so many young Americans, young people across the West, and making them unafraid.
I'll be honest, there's no reason. On my channel when it began back in the day, nearly a year ago, it was all UFOs, and then UFO stories died, and then that's when I discovered Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson. I was like, hang on a minute, and that's why I sort of moved into sort of like the news and whatnot, because of those said people. I thought, oh, they're very intelligent. I need to be intelligent. So that's why I end up doing what I do here now, and a bit of news here and there, because yes, I suppose they inspired me. What can I say?
Afraid to speak, making them say their opinions boldly and putting forward an alternative view to the prevailing dogma. And Douglas, he always did it so politely, even in the face of terrible abuse. I used to play his videos on this program all the time, the interactions where he would cop this ugly, unhinged abuse, and he would always remain calm and politely dismantle the radical left's arguments.
Yeah, and then they say things like, well, we'll have to agree to disagree. You know what I mean? Always nice.
In the face of terrible abuse, and they still shot him. No matter how much he spoke about the importance of dialogue, about not demonizing your opponents, about engaging and making sure that we're at a point where we can still talk to each other. And they still shot him.
We'll find out who they is, I suppose, in the coming hours and days. I think that whoever the shooter turns out to be, I do hope that people who listened to Charlie, who were inspired by him, he was an extraordinary communicator. I mean, his success, his earned success over the years of his adult life came about because he had an enormous skill at speaking to people and for people. And he was enormously persuasive. He was enormously skilled and talented. And as I say, it needs to be said again, an incredible patriot. I hope that after this, there will be many people, I suspect, particularly young people who learned a lot from Charlie, admired Charlie and much more, who will be tempted at a moment like this to sink to the kind of level that they perceive in their opponents. I think these moments can be real crossroads. And I hope that all of those young men and women across America and elsewhere who were inspired and educated and informed by Charlie realize that their task now is to pick up where he left off and to emulate what he did, and to emulate the courtesy, the patriotism, the decency that he showed in his public life, and that they don't sink into the kind of behavior which they see among their opponents. I hope that is the case because you say, Rita, Charlie always demonstrated such considerable courtesy and decency,
Yep.
even to his political opponents who were screaming abuse at him and much more. So it could be, as I say, this is only hours after this terrible.
I think I did hear Donald Trump is apparently going to be awarding Charlie Kirk the Medal of Freedom.
News has come through. It could be one of those moments where some people sink down and meet their opponents on their opponents' terms. But it would be a much better thing for America and for all of us, I think, if we rise above that. And remember that what Charlie said and was saying right up until the moment he was shot remains as true now as it was all of these years, which is that, yes, we need to be able to explore ideas. We need to be able to talk. We need to be able to talk across divides. And that if we lose that, then people resort to violence. And how terrible it is that something that he perceived so clearly and said so often should be something which has now been proven by the evil person who's taken his life away.
And he was always so brave. You talked about speaking truth, and in the past week, he has spoken a lot of truth, a lot of uncomfortable truths about crime in the US, particularly after the murder of the young Ukrainian woman down in North Carolina, and the media's reluctance initially to touch that story at all, the overrepresentation of a segment of the population in the violent crime stats. So many really crucial issues, Douglas, that should be spoken about, but
yes,
the media is perhaps afraid to. So many commentators don't want to be racist, bigots, or be called hateful like Charlie was, for stating facts that may be uncomfortable. But how are you going to ever tackle these issues if you don't actually even acknowledge them?
Absolutely. And what happens if you don't acknowledge issues which are staring everyone in the face is you put them down under and they bubble away, and evil things come up. You seed an evil harvest when you do that. I suppose there's one other thing I would say about that, which is that after an act of violence like this, as well as great anger and great rage, which many people will have, there will be some people who will feel in some way afraid or cowed by this. They may not admit to it. They may not wish to explore it, but it's understandable. There was no reason why somebody saying what Charlie Kirk said should ever have been the subject of violence, the object of violence. But I hope that people realize again that although at such a moment they might feel it's a good time to pipe down or not make themselves a target, that actually the much better thing to do is for everyone to be a bit more courageous, for everyone to be a bit stronger in standing up for what they believe to be true, for stating facts that they see before their eyes, by getting out there, by making their voices heard. You know, I think often of after a previous assassination a good decade ago in the offices of Charlie Hebdo. I remember what my friend Ayaan Hirsi Ali said, and perhaps it's as applicable now as it was then, which is that if there are people who seem to be in this position that Charlie found himself in, of being this object of hate as the cartoonists and the editors of Charlie Hebdo were a decade ago, I hope that people remember now what Ayaan said then, which is the best thing is to spread the risk around. If people are going to believe that it's respectable or reasonable to target conservative voices with violence, let's all speak up a bit more. Let's all take a step forward. People don't need to be heroes or martyrs or anything, but they could be a bit more heroic and speak up a bit more and be proud a bit more for the things you should feel pride in. like your nation. And if people do that, that would be in the midst of this awful time. It would be a tribute, and one which I think Charlie would himself be very proud of.
Beautifully said, and I think you're so right. Let's step up and spread the risk. Douglas Murray, thank you so much for your time tonight.
There we go. I have got this. I'm a bit because I think they play the Gladiator music in it, and I don't know if that's going to end up getting me copyrighted or they just have to blank it out. But I mean, it comes up as a choice to edit, and I have to blank it out. But 10 Weetabix. 10 Weetabix? Blimey heck, mate. You sure about that? I used to eat 6, and I dropped being sensible, and it had 2 or 3, depending. But I'm not as physical as I used to be. But I saw this. This was a good video, but I'll stop it just before matey comes up and starts praying and that. So, blooming 12. Holy moly.
In the last hour and 15 minutes. Who has no clue what just happened the last hour and 15 minutes? Hour and 15 minutes.
Loud.
We've been going back and forth. Report just came 5 minutes ago. Charlie Kirk was shot and he's dead. Yes. When I'm coming on stage, I was coming on the stage to start a prayer for him because it wasn't announced. Vinny comes up and tells me Charlie's dead. Kelly comes and signals to me Charlie's dead. We've had Charlie on the podcast. I think Charlie's a very important guy in America for our youth.
Can't do it. It's horrible watching people like that and struggle. All bad people. Well, I don't get me copyrighted or probably blank it all out. So this part will end up being silent. It's horrible. It's quite emotional, isn't it? Gladiator. Is it Gladiator?
You know, it's weird. I mentioned his name yesterday. Remember? Yesterday I said Dylan was watching his debate the other day on his own. And a story like this takes place. When it back, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me for a story like this. Beautiful family. By the way, forget about political differences. Some of you guys may not like the guy. Some of you guys may like him. But an event like this, you look at the top 15 things that are trending right now on X. Look at them. The last thing we need is things like this to raise the temperature. Breaks my heart. Young man, 31 years old, family. And when you see events like this, you know what it does? Many people react in a place of fear. Security's in the back. Do you want to hit the stage? Of course I'm going to hit the stage. What do you mean? Dude, this is not how we roll. You think America accidentally became the greatest country in the world? You think this happened because we didn't have courage? You think this happened because we didn't have to fight? You think this happened because the leaders, the founding fathers were scared? No. We're the luckiest people alive. But in moments like this, we can either get our temperature to go high, lose our cool, react accordingly, or we can calm the nerves down, become examples and leaders. Simultaneously staying tough, calling out the truth, and being willing to fight for this guy who's been pouring into what he believes in. All Charlie did is he loved America. So if you don't mind, with your permission, I would like to bring Tom up to give a prayer before we finish this session. Is that okay with you?
there we have it. But good little speech there by PBD. But yeah, this is I was watching this old GodLogic doing his thing, and obviously he got emotional in that as well. But I can't believe it that they actually turn around and someone actually posts up "You're next." Who does that? Obviously, it's a Muslim. Couple of minutes. I'll start at about 4 minutes 50, so I'm sure you don't want to watch the whole 6 minutes or 7 minutes before it happens. So it's about 2 minutes beforehand, so it builds up, and then he pops in and says it. Listen to what.
So, like I say to my ex-Muslim brothers and sisters who have come to Christ and, you know, are persecuted and called all kind of things out of your name and, you know, all kind of stuff. It's the same for those who used to support the LGBT, you know, movement and the trans movement, and they came out of that, and now those same people that they used to be friends with and support start reviling them and saying all kind of vile things and, you know, harassing them. You guys are in good company. Charlie Kirk, you're in good company, because Jesus said it. He already told us. He said, they did it to me first, so they're going to do it to you. They hated me, so they're going to hate you. They persecuted me and the prophets, so they're going to do the same to you. Here's the attitude that we should have in this. Even though this is sad, even though we're grieving, we lose a brother or a sister, it's just anybody. We're just a human being being martyred like this. Yes, exactly. This type of hate crime.
Juicy advert. Done well, actually, not to get any.
We still rejoice in the Lord. We still take refuge in the Lord. We still delight in the Lord, because we know that we're on the right side. They can unalive us. They can imprison us, put us in chains, but we already won. Christ already won the victory. It's just a matter of time before he comes, cracks the sky holding his heavyweight division belt, championship belt, showing the world. Told you. We rejoice in the Lord, guys. We grieve. We grieve the loss of our brothers and sisters. We grieve it. Look, even a Muslim just said, "You next, Logic."
See what I mean?
It's just a matter of time before he comes,
Say it again.
cracks the sky holding his heavyweight division belt, championship belt, showing the world. Told you. We rejoice in the Lord, guys. We grieve. We grieve the loss of our brothers and sisters. We grieve it. Look, even a Muslim just said, "You next, Logic."
So it's disgusting. I don't know what's going on in these blooming Muslim heads. You don't even type it. Just don't get some people. But it doesn't surprise me this day and age that a Muslim types up "You're next." But in this one, I'm not showing the whole 15 minutes, don't worry. But the Lefties losing it in this one.
Lefties Losing It, and tonight's edition of Lefties will feature some of the
Nutters.
ugliness, some of the utter depravity that has followed the murder of Charlie Kirk, a thoroughly decent, principled man brutally murdered today, and the soulless ghouls of the left were quick to celebrate.
There are a lot of people that are like, no matter what side of politics you're on, you should never celebrate something bad happening to someone. I, on the other hand, do cheer when bad things happen to bad people.
Charlie Kirk
Idiots.
just got shot.
They all look unemployed, mentally ill. Every single one of them.
News, folks. Seems somebody just took a shot at one of the Fantast's favorite 5-mile wide mouthpieces, Charles Chuckle Kirk.
Muppet. This is pathetic.
And sadly, the vile left has not been shy about showcasing their ugliness, their utter callous depravity. This is what leftism does to your mind and soul.
Charlie Kirk got shot and killed. How'd you feel?
Happy. Goodbye.
Wow. Did you see that
Sad.
Charlie Kirk just got shot and killed?
That's good.
Wow. That's
How
good.
is that good?
That's good that people are getting shot just on a
cow.
political view.
Charlie Kirk gets shot and killed today. We're just getting people's opinions. How do you feel about that?
Girl, someone had to do it. And that's how I feel at this point in time. But
You know, I appreciate your honesty. I truly
What
do.
an
So you
idiot.
said someone had to do it.
This is the
Yes.
youth of today.
try not to get all pulled up into that, but he was a misogynist. He was a disgusting person with disgusting beliefs.
Enough of that trash. Let's look at how the
Disgusting
media
beliefs.
professionals covered this tragic event, this act of domestic terrorism. Here is MSNBC.
In which a shooting like this happens.
Yeah, and again, to emphasize what you just emphasized, we don't know any of the full details of this. That we don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea.
Yeah,
No.
pretty sure we knew immediately it wasn't that. Charlie Kirk supporters don't go around shooting their guns in celebration like they're attending some wedding in Iraq. And of course, MSNBC had to engage in victim blaming by calling Charlie divisive.
Charlie Kirk is a divisive figure, polarizing, lightning rod,
How is he
whatever term you want to use. Why?
Well, he's one of MAGA's most prominent voices online. He hosts a near daily podcast.
But that was just stupid. What I'm about to play you is straight out depraved, disgusting commentary. This is Matthew Dowd again on MSNBC.
Who's
Not
been
long after
sacked.
Charlie
He
was
has
shot.
been sacked.
He's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this,
No,
who is
never.
constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions. And I think
Which
that's
is
the
not
environment we're in,
applicable
that people just, you can't
to Charlie
stop with
Kirk.
these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
Matt.
And that's the unfortunate environment we're in.
That was so vile, so hateful, and frankly deranged and dangerous that even MSNBC had to take some action, and they've sacked Matthew Dowd, but it's MSNBC. He may be back before the end of the month. And the asinine commentary wasn't restricted to commentators on MSNBC. Governors joined in. Here is the rotund governor of crime-riddled Illinois, blaming President Trump, the man Charlie Kirk worked tirelessly to re-elect. Governor
What's
Pritzker
happening on this
blames
planet?
Donald Trump for fomenting political violence.
Political violence, unfortunately, has been ratcheting up in this country. We saw the shootings, the killings in Minnesota. We've seen other political violence occur in other states. And I would just say it's got to stop. And I think there are people who are fomenting it in this country. I think the president's rhetoric often foments it.
Did that nincompoop really mention the Minnesota shooter,
Exactly,
the
mate.
trans-identified lunatic
Never.
who shot children in a Catholic school and wanted to kill Donald Trump? Yeah, it's Trump who was almost killed by an assassin's bullet who is to blame for leftist violence, not these lefties losing it.
He insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take you behind the gym and beat the hell out of him. Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
So bad.
Look, as his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
I will go and take Trump
She
out
blew her whole
tonight.
face up instead.
Anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
President Donald Trump has called the murder
What
of
next?
Charlie Kirk a dark moment for America.
To my great fellow Americans, I'm filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah.
Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace.
And the president noted the spate of deadly political violence from the left. He called such acts, including the assassination of Charlie Kirk, as acts of domestic terrorism.
It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis. From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others, radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed, because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come.
Let's bring in documentary filmmaker and commentator Ami Horowitz. Ami, this is a dark day for America. I don't think those celebrating Charlie Kirk's assassination, and I've seen, sadly, a lot of that on social media, I don't think those people understand what they have unleashed. The anger, the sadness over this assassination is profound.
Yeah, I think you're right. And before I spit fire, and believe me that I will, let me take a step back and talk about Charlie for a moment, and just some personal anecdote. I considered him a friend, even though we were a generation apart. He was somebody that if I had a question or some advice, I'd call them and reach out to him. And he's so generous with his time. The first time I met him, God, it was well over 10 years ago, maybe 13, 14 years ago. He was a teenager. He was just starting Turning Point. I think we met at a PragerU conference in California. And somebody introduced the two of us. So this is a guy you should know. His name is Charlie Kirk. He's a comer. And Charlie had been fundraising for Turning Point USA, right? It was to see the beginning of this organization. And in our conversation, he was talking about the people he's raising money from while he was there. And for anyone who knows who raises money, who has investors, you keep those things close to your vest, right? That's the lifeblood, the money that keeps and creates the organization you're creating. And he mentioned one of these billionaires that he raised some money from. And I just mentioned, just casually, that's a great guy to get money from. I've been trying to reach him for years. Not even asking for a favor. And he immediately said, here's the guy's cell phone number. Give him a call. I'm sure he's happy to help. Okay, that was the kind of guy Charlie Kirk was, okay? A friend to all, a hater of no one. He criticized people, but he did not have hatred in his heart, which makes this even more difficult. Look, I have all types of friends, right? I have friends on the far right. I have friends on the far left. I have friends everywhere in between. And I got to tell you, Rita, I am scared to call some of my friends on the center left, never mind the far left, to talk about this. I'm afraid what they're going to say. Going over the social media, going over Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, and listening to what people are saying, even on the mainstream media. I heard you talk about MSNBC over and over again. I think it's important to note the callousness in which they're covering this saddens me, scares me. And if a friend of mine said to me, "Oh, I'm so happy Charlie Kirk is dead," I don't know if I could talk to that person again. I got to be honest with you, Rita.
Exactly that. What can you say? What can you say? What do you think? What are you saying in the comments? What am I missing? What about the Islamists? Who are they for? Themselves. They are all about themselves. No one else. Don't give a hoot about obviously anything or anyone. If you're not a Muslim, they don't care. You are the worst of creatures. These debates were great. Yeah, I used to love watching. Well, I still will. Like the Charlie Kirk debates. Yeah, learned a lot. The Islamists are for themselves. Told ya. Using the left as useful idiots, just like they did in 1979 Iran. Yeah, that's the thing, because people are so bloody gullible, especially like the Labour Party. They don't want to trigger anyone. They're ridiculous. Excuse me. So, what can we do? Oh, South Park, yeah. Yeah, because like, some people are just born to be nice, but then obviously they got a bit, that people don't like that, so they got to taint them and say this, say that. Yeah, South Park's a good one as well. Not The Simpsons. Give it time, it'll probably be in that. Yep, they're the one that sort of set the narrative and sort of start by sniffing against, say, people like Charlie Kirk. People listen. People then say it themselves to another person. That person says it, and before you know it, Charlie Kirk, they're saying this, that, and everything else, and it could not be any more false if they tried. So yes, Kay Burkett, you're correct. That's basically it. Smear. It's all about smearing. Like, it sounds like he's getting a voice. Yep, right. The smearing. That's all it is. Smear campaigns, left, right, and centre. I mean, where does America go from here? I mean, I can't see anyone doing any debates anytime. That's going to be an old. They have to get the old Pope-mobile, won't they? And getting that massive bulletproof glass round them or something. Wear a vest if you're only going to have a chat. So yeah, but university kids like to, or college kids like to sort of take a shot at you. It just can't. That's how triggered they get. Imagine actually saying like, oh, a man cannot get pregnant. A man cannot have a period. Oh, for that, we shall shoot you. I don't get it. That's absolutely ridiculous. I can't say anything. I can't even. I'm trying to think of all the videos I've watched with Charlie, but it's always like reasonable. And at the end, like I said earlier, I agree to disagree. So I don't know how they, whatever rhetoric they got on him, it's without doubt smear campaign, just lies. So yeah, propaganda, that's like the word of the century, isn't it? Blimey, they're suffering a mass delusion caused by the propaganda and foul media. Yep. But I mean, but Charlie Kirk says like Islam is bad. Yes, that's very true. Transgenderism is bad. Yes, that's true. I mean, imagine going around saying I'm a man, but I should have been born a woman. Basically saying God made a mistake. God don't make mistakes. Shut up, you idiot. It's obviously you has a mental illness. So I don't get how any of that works. Just shut him up there and then. But I can't think of anything that Charlie's ever said off the top of my head. A lot of his stuff, and I was thinking about that today, and I was like, I can't. Yep, they'll global elite. Yeah, because I have seen that a lot of money's coming from Qatar, and Donald Trump's trying to stop that because it's going to universities over there. And of course, for that, hundreds of millions of pounds that go into, or dollars that go into their system, what they're going to have to do for the world of Islam. We're giving you money to university, so can you put the Quran everywhere? No, take your money, go. America is a Christian country like the UK is, so you shouldn't be taking any money in order to push the Islam narrative in any country. It's pure evil. But yes, it is Trump derangement syndrome is real. Yeah, people say this and that. Like they say it with Charlie. They said it with Donald Trump that he's racist. Well, he's not racist. He just speaks the truth. People don't like it. They get triggered, so they got to use like trigger words. You know, they got to get all buzzword, or you're racist. What? Just because I said I don't like illegal immigration? Donald Trump's like, right, we're getting all the illegals out. Oh, racist. How does that work? Was that the cabal? Is that like the rest of it? I wonder at the moment they are panicking. Anyway, he wants you eating bugs so that you can go through airports quicker. The globalist elite. Yep, but we just don't know who they are, do we? That's the problem. Sneaky sneakies. You're an ist or an ism. Yeah, that's basically it, isn't it? I should put that on one of my t-shirts. Are you an ist or an ism? Oh, that's racist, and oh, that's racism. It's terrible. But like I said, I mean, I've been a subscriber to Charlie Kirk for quite some time now, over a year. Well, it must be a year. Yeah. Because I had seen him beforehand, but obviously when he sort of popped back up on my stream when I was actually started my videos and all that, I was like, wait, this is entertaining. I like a bit of a debate, and it is educational. Probably learned quite a lot from him. Probably learnt more from Charlie Kirk than I did from my teachers at school. So, do you know what I mean? I don't know why I've got them on, because finished my videos. Oh, the Davos clan, yeah. I mean, yeah. There are those. Oh, am I yawning? Am I yawning? That's a bit rude, isn't it? Oh, it's 8:15. Blimey, how time flies. Did you forget the end there? Bankers. Most of them well known are bankers and multinationals. Yeah, the unelected, but they invest so much money, what they say goes. So, I mean, that's what I reckon after politicians. They say do this, do that. They get into power, and then they're told by someone, oh, we actually get 100 million off him. And he says, if you do that, that'll ruin him. So shut your mouth or get sacked. Or we do some sort of smear campaign and get you ousted as an MP or something. Do you know what I mean? It must be awful. But there's always people pulling strings. So, it's disgraceful. But what can you say? But yes, that's everything I wanted to do for tonight. I've been through all my bits and bobs, all my links and everything. See where we're at, what's going on in the world. But hopefully there'll be more about Charlie Kirk coming out in the news once they get the freak of nature that took the shot. Get that murderer with the death penalty. That would be happy days. So, and obviously tomorrow, which is Friday, 7 PM, we could talk about Keir Starmer, the Labour Party, some news, whatever news is going on tomorrow. We'll be on that, so it will be good. So we can all discuss it. If you want to jump up, you can. If you don't want to jump up, you don't have to. But if you want to come on screen, you got to be like this so we can see your face. Ooh. If I'm showing my ugly face, you can show yours. So it's all good. So thank you to Electrodoc Falconelli. I do like that name. Beats and tapes and everything. Thank you very much for joining me on this live at 7. The first ever Thursday at 7. So we'll have to do it again next week. Obviously, you need to make it regular, don't we? Hopefully, it get more and more popular. Who knows? Got to spread the word. Spread the wizard words. But yeah, don't forget to like the video, subscribe. We'll be back Friday, 7 PM. Jump up on screen and talk with me, the Wiz. We can have a good old chit chat. I think I can have up to about 8 people, but I think I'll have it so it's just me and maybe 2 others. That'll probably keep, so there's a nice conversation with 3 people, and then anyone else comes up, we can swap them around a bit. You know what I mean? Or I might get a 4th one up. Depends what we're talking about and who says what. Oh, share me on Facebook. Good man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Any help? Because I keep getting blooming banned because of my type of content. Like I say, asylum seekers, illegal immigrants, Islam, like, it's an absolute pain in the bum. So, Beats and Tapes, yes, have a good night, Beats and Tapes. Have a good night to Electrodoc 1968. Do you know, my wife was born in 1965, 3 years before that. Just thought I'd tell you that valuable information. But it's all good. It's been a good one, actually. Got all said what I wanted to be said, and then subtly works. Yep. I need to like rethink what I name my videos, because what I have found is like my shorts, my little shorts, and my TikToks. If I actually delete when it's been shadow banned and I rename the title and put it up, sometimes it does better and it's fine, and it doesn't even get shadow banned. It doesn't get a guideline whatever taken down type of thing. It's the same video but renamed and nothing happens. It's funny, but you know, what can I say? But anyway, take it easy, my friends. Stay safe. For Beats and Tapes, Volcanelli and Electrodoc, and I'll see you Friday 7 p.m. and hopefully you'll be up on screen and we'll have a good old chinwag. Happy days. And anything in the news that you want to talk about, then bring it with you. I can always load it up and we can have a little wag. Happy days. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. And that is the wizard's words.